On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Biomedical.
Relating to the application of the natural sciences, especially biology and physiology, to clinical medicine and healthcare.
Examples:
Biomedical assay. Cutting-edge biomedical. Biomedical engineering focuses on developing new medical technologies and innovations to improve patient health outcomes.
Outcome.
The result or effect of an action, event, etc.
Examples:
Improved student outcomes. A desirable outcome. They awaited news of the outcome of the election.
Disease.
A disorder or illness that affects the body or mind, often characterized by specific symptoms or abnormal functioning of organs or systems.
Examples:
Disease prevention. Disease control. The doctor diagnosed him with a rare disease that had no known cure.
Leukemia.
A type of cancer that affects the blood and bone marrow, in which abnormal white blood cells are produced and grow uncontrollably.
Examples:
Childhood leukemia. Acute leukemia. The symptoms of leukemia may include fatigue, weakness, and fever.
Acute.
Extremely sharp or severe.
Examples:
Acute pain. Acute triangle. The patient died from acute alcohol intoxication.
Lymphoma.
A type of cancer that affects the body's lymphatic system, which is responsible for fighting infection and disease.
Examples:
Non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Childhood lymphoma. My aunt was diagnosed with lymphoma and is undergoing chemotherapy.
Cancer.
Abnormal growth of cells that can invade and destroy surrounding tissues and organs. A disease characterized by the uncontrolled growth and spread of abnormal cells.
Examples:
Cancer diagnosis. Cancer research. Breast cancer is the most common type of cancer in women.
Mortality.
The quality or state of being subject to death.
Examples:
Mortality due to cancer. Lower infant mortality. This disease has a high mortality.
Reduction.
A decrease in size, amount, or degree.
Examples:
Reduction strategy. A gradual reduction. The reduction in carbon emissions has been significant since the implementation of the new policy.
Remarkable.
Worthy of attention because unusual or special.
Examples:
Remarkable achievement. The remarkable breadth of knowledge. The election was a remarkable success for the Whigs.
Avert.
To prevent something dangerous or undesirable from happening.
Examples:
Avert disaster. Avert a strike. The dam systematically releases large amounts of water to avert flooding during the rainy season.
Incredibly.
In a way that is very difficult to believe, exceedingly, or extremely.
Examples:
Incredibly cheerful character. Get incredibly insecure. Several cities are experiencing incredibly high unemployment rates.
Chronic.
Being long-lasting and recurrent or characterized by long suffering, habitual.
Examples:
Risk of chronic disease. Chronic alcohol consumption. Chronic hyperglycemia is a trigger for a variety of serious diseases.
Infect.
To affect a person, an animal, or a plant with a disease-causing organism.
Examples:
Infect other animal species. Infect a computer with a virus. Children often infect parents with this head cold.
Outlook.
The likely future situation for someone or something, a habitual or characteristic mental attitude to life and the world of a particular person, group, or culture.
Examples:
The outlook of the town site. A positive outlook on life. Our company's business outlook for next year is bright.
Stroke.
A medical condition in which poor blood flow to the brain causes cell death, the act of swinging or striking at a ball with a club, racket, etc.
Examples:
Suffer stroke. A stroke of the putter. This year's extreme heat has resulted in many heat stroke cases.
Emergency.
A sudden unforeseen crisis usually involving danger that requires immediate action.
Examples:
Emergency action. Acute emergency. The president declared a state of emergency.
Onset.
The beginning or early stages of unpleasant something, a military attack.
Examples:
At the first onset. The onset of spring. This medicine works best when taken at the onset of a cold.
Disability.
A physical or mental condition that makes it difficult for someone to do some things that other people do.
Examples:
A disability pension. A learning disability. Listening to music at a high volume may lead to a hearing disability.
Whatsoever.
Not at all, no matter what.
Examples:
Whatsoever it be. Without impact whatsoever. He refused to do anything whatsoever to help her.
Detect.
To find or recognize something, especially something difficult to see, hear, etc.
Examples:
Detect a bad event. Detect smuggling across borders. The security camera has detected 4 intruders.
Intervene.
To intentionally get involved in a situation to improve it or prevent it from getting worse.
Examples:
Intervene in a dispute. Intervene between quarreling parties. Following international law, our country does not intervene in the internal affairs of our neighbors.
Detection.
The act of discovering or identifying the presence of something.
Examples:
Detection by the security software. Importance of early detection. This smartphone has a collision detection function.
Intervention.
The action or process of being done to improve or help a circumstance, often they have not been asked to do so.
Examples:
Intervention by foreign powers. Surgical intervention. This intervention does not require the patient's consent.
Unfortunately.
By bad luck, unluckily.
Examples:
Unfortunately caught in a shower. Even more unfortunately. The treatments were done, but, unfortunately, were unsuccessful.
Suicide.
The act of killing yourself intentionally.
Examples:
Commit suicide. Suicide attack. In an economically prosperous country, most male suicide is due to child support problems.
Prevalent.
Existing very commonly in a particular area or in a specific time.
Examples:
Prevalent in Japan. Prevalent belief. This virus is prevalent in many tropical nations.
Statistics.
The discipline that concerns the collection, organization, analysis, interpretation, and presentation of data.
Examples:
Statistics for cancer. Official statistics. The statistics demonstrate that poverty and unemployment are genuine problems.
Extraordinary.
Exceptional, unexpected, very unusual, surpassing the ordinary or usual.
Examples:
Extraordinary ability. Extraordinary weather. He narrated the extraordinary story of his adventure.
Homicide.
The act or instance of killing another person, murder, manslaughter, or other unlawful violent killings.
Examples:
Mass homicide. Serial homicide. The detective was called to investigate a homicide in the city.
Traffic.
The movement of vehicles, people, or goods along a route or through a transport system, the amount of such movement in a particular place or at a particular time.
Examples:
Traffic jam. Heavy traffic. We decided to take a detour to avoid the construction traffic on the main road.
Medical.
Relating to the treatment of illness or injuries, relating to the practice of medicine.
Examples:
A medical opinion. Temporary medical treatment. The medical team worked quickly to save the patient's life.
Contribution.
The act of giving something, especially money, to a particular cause or organization, a voluntary gift as of money or service or ideas made to some worthwhile cause.
Examples:
Make a positive contribution. Contribution to society. His contribution to the charity was a generous donation of money.
Relate.
To establish a connection or association between two or more things. To narrate or tell about an event, experience, or relationship. To empathize or feel sympathy with someone or something.
Examples:
Relate a story. Relate a message. He tried to relate his experience to the group, but they couldn't understand.
Depression.
A mental condition in which a person feels very unhappy and without hope for the future, a severe recession in an economy or market.
Examples:
The Great Depression. The root problem of her depression. Depression symptoms might include a decrease in appetite and weight loss.
Bipolar.
Of, relating to, or occurring in both polar regions, of or relating to manic depressive illness.
Examples:
Bipolar depression. A bipolar semiconductor. The physician prescribed medication to treat bipolar disorder.
Disorder.
An untidy state or a lack of organization, a physical condition or illness that causes problems with how a section of the body or brain functions.
Examples:
The files are in complete disorder. People with bipolar disorder. The doctor prescribed some medicine for the mental disorder.
Schizophrenia.
A severe mental disorder in which a person has a distorted view of reality and may experience hallucinations, delusions, and disordered thinking and behavior.
Examples:
Schizophrenia spectrum disorder. Schizophrenia treatment. The schizophrenia patient was experiencing severe auditory hallucinations.
Anorexia.
A serious eating disorder characterized by an intense fear of gaining weight or becoming overweight, along with a persistent refusal to eat an adequate amount of food, resulting in significant weight loss, malnutrition, and a wide range of physical and psychological consequences.
Examples:
Anorexia symptoms. Anorexia treatment. Many people suffer from anorexia nervosa and require professional treatment to recover.
Borderline.
In a position or state of being almost, but not quite something, on the edge or boundary of something.
Examples:
borderline personality, borderline case. The teacher offered to review the papers of students who received borderline grades to provide them with feedback.
Contribute.
To give something, especially money or goods, to provide or achieve something together with other people.
Examples:
contribute a large sum of money to the fund. Contribute to society. Government workers cannot contribute to political campaigns.
Mention.
To speak or write about something or someone briefly.
Examples:
mention name. Mention in a report. I mentioned to him that I had seen his sister at the grocery store earlier that day.
Morbid.
Characterized by a preoccupation with death or unhealthy topics or behaviors, gruesome or disturbing.
Examples:
morbid fascination. Morbid joke. The decayed and morbid atmosphere of the abandoned house scared her.
Organization.
A group of people who work together for a shared purpose.
Examples:
organization chart. Agricultural organization. She is the president of a large international organization.
Metric.
Using or relating to the meter as a unit of length, a system of related measures that facilitates the quantification of some particular characteristic.
Examples:
metric units. Key performance metrics. In the metric system, measurements are made in meters and liters.
Economical.
Providing a satisfactory return on the money, time, or effort, not using more money, fuel, etc. than necessary.
Examples:
economical use of her time. An economical meal. It is more economical to wash your plastic bottle and reuse it.
Capture.
To catch a person or an animal and confine them in an area which they cannot escape.
Examples:
capture a glimpse. Capture customers' hearts. I was able to capture the moment on film.
Virtually.
Almost completely.
Examples:
virtually all countries. Virtually identical. Virtually all the parties signed the contract.
Attribute.
To say or regard that something is the result of a particular thing, noun, a quality or feature that someone or something possesses.
Examples:
attribute the change to their marriage. Attribute directly to sales. He attributes the disappointing results to the economic downturn.
Neuropsychiatric.
Relating to mental disorders that have a neurological or physiological basis, or to the study of the interplay between neurological and psychiatric phenomena.
Examples:
Neuropsychiatric disorder. Neuropsychiatric evaluation. Researchers are studying the neuropsychiatric effects of certain medications on the brain.
Syndrome.
A group of signs and symptoms that occur together and are characteristic of a particular condition or disorder.
Examples:
Syndrome of dementia. Acute syndrome. The patient was diagnosed with a rare genetic syndrome.
Suffer.
To experience pain, distress, or hardship, to undergo or endure something painful or unpleasant.
Examples:
Suffer a setback. Suffer bad grades. The older man suffers from arthritis and finds it difficult to move around.
Lifetime.
The duration of someone's life or of something's existence.
Examples:
Lifetime benefits. Lifetime ban from the sport. She had lived through 2 world wars in her lifetime.
Disable.
To cause someone or something to become unable to function properly or as intended, to incapacitate or immobilize.
Examples:
Disable a setting. Disable a device. I had to disable the pop-up blocker in my browser to access the website.
Extent.
The point or degree or area to which something extends.
Examples:
Certain extent. The extent of the damage. I was amazed at the extent of her generosity.
Diabetes.
A medical condition in which the body cannot produce enough insulin to control the glucose levels in the blood.
Examples:
Juvenile diabetes. Diabetes patient. My father was tested for diabetes.
Hypertension.
A medical condition characterized by abnormally high blood pressure in the arteries, often leading to an increased risk of heart disease, stroke, and other health problems.
Examples:
Hypertension rate. Arterial hypertension. To lower hypertension, it is important to maintain a healthy diet and exercise regularly.
Obvious.
Easy to see, discover, or understand.
Examples:
Obvious reasons. His conclusion was obvious. There are obvious differences between the 2 wine-producing regions.
Confession.
A formal statement in which one admits that they have done something wrong or illegal.
Examples:
a confession of guilt, a confession of faith. The prisoner made a full confession and admitted to his crime.
Progression:
the act or process of changing to the next stage or phase or moving forward.
Examples:
progression of civilization, progression of disease. The company has made great strides in its progression towards sustainability.
Government:
the group of people with authority to control a country or state.
Examples:
government bureaucracy, government funding. The federal government is planning to increase taxes for the next fiscal year.
Salary:
a fixed amount of money that employees, especially those who work in an office, receive for doing their job, usually paid every month.
Examples:
a handsome salary, salary after taxes. What are your annual salary expectations?
Unpopular:
not liked, supported, or approved by many people, having an unfavorable reputation.
Examples:
unpopular decision, an unpopular opinion. The politician's stance on controversial issues made him an unpopular candidate for many voters.
Politically:
in a way that relates to the government or public affairs of a nation.
Examples:
politically advantageous, become politically savvy. This newspaper is supposed to be politically neutral.
Impediment:
a hindrance or obstruction in doing something.
Examples:
have a speech impediment, biological impediment. The language barrier was an impediment to their communication.
Conceptual:
related to or founded on ideas, principles.
Examples:
conceptual art, new conceptual framework. He has absolutely no conceptual comprehension of maths.
Rethink:
to consider again a plan, idea, etc., especially to change it.
Examples:
rethink a marketing plan, rethink the role of the manager. We have to rethink our company's product lineup for further growth.
Brain:
the organ inside the head that is responsible for one's movement, thought, memory, and feeling.
Examples:
basic brain function, permanent brain damage. X-rays revealed a small tumor in his brain.
Biochemical:
relating to the chemical processes and substances that occur within living organisms.
Examples:
biochemical reaction, complex biochemical. Biochemical research is essential to understanding the complex chemical reactions in living organisms.
Imbalance.
A situation in which two or more things are not equal or equally treated.
Examples:
Trade imbalance. Symptoms of hormonal imbalance. An imbalance in certain substances causes problems with brain function.
Simplistic.
Oversimplified or lacking in complexity or depth, characterized by an attempt to explain something complex or multifaceted with overly vague or simple terms.
Examples:
Simplistic approach. Simplistic design. The politician's solution to the problem was too simplistic to solve the underlying issue.
Molecule.
A group of two or more atoms held together by attractive forces known as chemical bonds.
Examples:
Small molecules. Molecule behavior. The shape of the DNA molecule is a double helix.
Dimension.
A measurable extent of a particular kind, such as width, height, or length.
Examples:
New dimension. The crosswise dimension. Overall dimensions are approximately 400 by 200 millimeters.
Scope.
The range of one's perceptions, thoughts, or actions, or a subject that.
Examples:
Scope of a project. Have broad scope. The scope of human thought is diverse.
Surreal.
Strange and unreal, having an oddly dreamlike quality.
Examples:
Surreal number. Surreal art. The dreamlike quality of the painting gave it a surreal feel.
Complexity.
The state or quality of being complicated or intricate and difficult to understand.
Examples:
Cognitive complexity. Complexity theory. The project's complexity made it difficult for the team to complete it on time.
Neuron.
A cell that is specialized to carry information within the brain and between the brain and other parts of the body.
Examples:
Excite the neurons. Neuron cell body. Our body transfers information along each neuron using an electrical impulse.
Cortex.
The outermost layer of an organ, especially the brain.
Examples:
Cortex cells. Visual cortex neuron. The cerebral cortex consists of 6 layers.
Trillion.
The number 1 trillion, a million million.
Examples:
Trillion cubic feet. Many trillions of dollars. 1 light year is nearly 6 trillion miles.
Synapse.
The fact or state of failing to finish an activity and of stopping using, making, or doing it.
Examples:
Synapse circuit. And at a synapse. Animals transmit nerve impulses through synapses.
Process:
A series of actions or operations performed to achieve a particular outcome or goal. A systematic procedure or approach used to accomplish a specific task or objective. A method of treating milk to make it suitable for consumption or use in other dairy products.
Examples:
Process improvement. Decision-making process. The process for applying for a visa can be lengthy and complicated.
Cruel:
Feeling or showing pleasure in causing pain or suffering to others.
Examples:
A cruel and unusual punishment. Cruel joke. The dictator was known for his cruel and oppressive regime.
Evolution:
A gradual process of transformation of living things.
Examples:
Human evolution. Evolution theory. They study the evolution of the universe.
Zone:
A specific area, region, or section that is marked off or defined in some way.
Examples:
Time zone. Zone defense. He was reluctant to leave his comfort zone and try something new.
Cognition:
The psychological process of perception and learning and reasoning, the mental action or process by which knowledge and understanding are developed in the mind.
Examples:
Social cognition. Cognition disorder. The professor focused on the research of infant cognition.
Observe:
To watch or notice something carefully, often to gather information or insights, to take note of something or someone, to celebrate or commemorate a special event or occasion.
Examples:
Observe a tradition. Observe wildlife. It is important to observe safety procedures in the workplace to prevent accidents.
Engage:
To attract and keep someone's attention and interest, to participate in or obtain services of something.
Examples:
Engage in environmental protection activities. Engage a new employee. Many multinational companies are engaged in the reconstruction of that country.
Mysterious:
Difficult to understand, explain, or identify, having an aura of secrecy, intrigue, or puzzlement.
Examples:
Mysterious object. Mysterious stranger. The mysterious disappearance of the ship remains unsolved.
Obsessive:
Relating to or characterized by an obsession or excessive interest in a particular thing or activity, tending to dwell on or repeat certain thoughts or behaviors.
Examples:
obsessive compulsive disorder, obsessive thoughts. Her obsessive behavior towards perfectionism often led to burnout.
Compulsive.
Relating to or involving an irresistible urge to do something repeatedly or excessively, often in a way that is harmful or detrimental to one's well-being or relationships.
Examples:
compulsive gambling, compulsive behavior. He had a compulsive need to check the stove was turned off every time he left the house.
Traumatic.
Relating to or caused by injury, especially emotional injury.
Examples:
traumatic event, traumatic brain injury. The experience was so traumatic that it left a lasting impact on the survivor's mental health.
Depth.
The distance between the top and bottom of something, between the top surface and a distance below it.
Examples:
depth camera, the depth of the water. The pond's depth was around 5 feet.
Abnormal.
Not typical, usual, or regular, especially in a way that is bad.
Examples:
abnormal heart rhythms, abnormal cells. An abnormal climate in the region caused a sharp decline in grain harvest.
Identify.
To recognize someone or something and say or prove who or what they are.
Examples:
identify handwriting, identify gene sequences. I will introduce you to how to identify the leading causes of the malfunction.
Circuit.
In electrical engineering, an electrical device that provides a path for electrical current to flow, a journey or route around a particular place or area.
Examples:
circuit breaker, Federal Circuit courts. An intelligent battery has a voltage monitoring circuit.
Connectome.
A complete map of all the neural connections or pathways in the brain or nervous system, often created using advanced imaging technologies.
Examples:
connectome mapping, connectome plasticity. Scientists are mapping the human brain's connectome to understand different cognition aspects better.
Diagram.
A simplified illustration of the appearance, structure, or workings of something.
Examples:
3D diagram. In a diagram. He is drawing a diagram illustrating how the equipment operates.
Struggle.
To make a great effort to do something when it is difficult, or there are a lot of problems, to use force or violence to break away from restraint or constriction.
Examples:
struggle against discrimination. Struggle to get the job. He could not struggle against temptation.
Variation.
The act or state of changing, a difference or change in the way something is done, made, or said.
Examples:
variation of temperature, gene variation. There is a lot of variation in the colors of flowers in the garden.
Predictable.
Capable of being known, seen, or declared in advance.
Examples:
predictable pattern, in a predictable manner. The economy becomes more volatile and less predictable.
Develop.
To grow or expand, to improve or refine through a process of progress and refinement, often to achieve greater sophistication or complexity, to elaborate or add detail to something that is in the process of being created.
Examples:
develop a strategy, develop a skill. We must develop a new system to streamline our workflow and increase efficiency.
Alzheimer.
A neurodegenerative disease that causes memory loss, cognitive decline, and behavioral issues, is the most common cause of dementia in older adults.
Examples:
Alzheimer's brain, Alzheimer's risk factors. My grandmother has Alzheimer's disease, requires special care and attention from her caregivers.
Bomb.
A weapon that explodes and is used to kill or injure people or to cause damage to something.
Examples:
atomic bombs, disarm the bomb. The use of cluster bombs is strictly prohibited by international law.
Jam.
A situation in which something becomes stuck because of a dense crowd of people, vehicles, etc., a preserve of crushed fruit.
Examples:
a traffic jam, a jar of jam. The shredder in the print room often has paper jams.
Detour.
A route that deviates from the main or direct one, usually taken to avoid something such as traffic or construction, a diversion from the usual or expected course of action.
Examples:
detour sign, unnecessary detour. We had to take a detour because of the road construction ahead.
Function.
The purpose or use of an object, system, or process, a particular activity or operation that is designed to serve a specific purpose, a mathematical concept that describes a relationship between two sets of values, called the input and output sets. Verb, to operate or work in a specific way, or to perform a particular task or purpose.
Examples:
function properly, immune function. The brain is an incredibly complex organ that controls the body's function.
Myocardial.
Relating to the muscular tissue of the heart.
Examples:
myocardial infarction, myocardial fibrosis. The physical examination revealed no abnormalities in the patient's myocardial structure.
Infarction.
The obstruction or blockage of blood flow to a specific area or organ, leading to tissue damage or death, commonly used to describe a myocardial infarction, heart attack.
Examples:
Acute infarction, cerebral infarction. Time is critical when treating a myocardial infarction.
Tissue.
An ensemble of similar cells of the animal or plant that together carry out a specific function.
Examples:
A facial tissue, loss of muscle tissue. The researcher separated the nervous tissue for microscopic examinations.
Arrhythmia.
A medical condition in which the heartbeat is irregular, too slow, or too fast, which can cause the heart to pump blood less effectively and lead to a variety of symptoms such as palpitations, fatigue, shortness of breath, chest pain, or even fainting.
Examples:
Arrhythmia treatment, heart arrhythmia. The patient was diagnosed with an arrhythmia, causing irregular heartbeats.
Communicate.
To share or exchange information with others by speaking, writing, moving your body, or using other signals.
Examples:
Communicate his anxieties to the psychiatrist. Communicate well with my advisor. Dolphins use sound to communicate with each other.
Lesion.
A damaged or abnormal area of tissue in the body, usually caused by injury or disease.
Examples:
Muscle lesion, brain lesion. The doctor examined the lesion on the patient's skin to determine if it was cancerous.
Scan.
To examine something hastily, with the eyes or with a machine, to get information.
Examples:
Scan the face of a man. Scan a document into PDF. She stood on the podium and scanned an audience.
Colleague.
One of a group of a coworker, especially in a profession or a business.
Examples:
Collaborate with colleagues. Former colleague. I decided to seek counseling on the advice of my colleague.
Nation.
A large organized community of people living in a particular country or region and having a particular culture.
Examples:
Nation-state. A seafaring nation. The nation of Japan is known for its unique culture and advanced technology.
Institute.
An organization that has a specific purpose, particularly one dealing with science, education, or a particular profession. Verb, to initiate, introduce, or establish something.
Examples:
Institute a lawsuit. Research institutes. This region has many institutes offering higher education.
Dorsolateral.
Relating to or situated on the back and side of something, particularly a body part, such as the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which is a region of the brain involved in higher cognitive functions.
Examples:
Dorsolateral pathway, dorsolateral approach. The dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is responsible for executive functions such as decision-making and problem-solving.
Prefrontal.
In or about the foremost part of the frontal lobe of the brain.
Examples:
Prefrontal bone, prefrontal region. Research shows that damage to the prefrontal cortex leads to increased aggression.
Superior.
Better, higher in quality, or more advanced than others.
Examples:
Superior performance. Provide superior customer service. The new smartphone model is superior to the previous version in terms of speed and features.
Temporal.
Of or relating to time as opposed to eternity.
Examples:
A temporal restriction. Temporal history. The temporal nature of the universe is a subject of much debate among scientists.
Gyrus.
A convolution of the surface of the brain.
Examples:
Gyrus function. Cerebral gyrus. The inferior temporal gyrus is involved in object recognition.
Profound.
Extremely great, sensed or experienced very strongly, displaying a high level of knowledge or comprehension.
Examples:
A profound book. The profound depths of the sea. My mother's illness had a profound impact on us all.
Norm.
Something that is regarded as usual, typical, or standard.
Examples:
Norm of action. Cultural norm. The systems we have developed has accepted as industry norms.
Cortical.
Relating to or located in the outer layer of an organ or body structure, particularly the cortex of the brain.
Examples:
Cortical neurons. Cortical activity. The MRI showed activity in the cortical region of the patient's brain.
Mass.
A large amount of a substance with no definite shape or form, a large number of people or things grouped or crowded together.
Examples:
A mass of molten rock. Critical mass. The mass of people who do not own property is politically impotent.
Overshoot.
To go further than the end of or past something you intended to stop or turn.
Examples:
Overshoot a target. Overshoot the mark. The department may overshoot its budget ceiling this year.
Threshold.
The floor or ground that forms the bottom of a doorway and offers support when passing through a doorway, the smallest detectable sensation.
Examples:
The threshold between rooms. High pain threshold. She's on the threshold of adulthood.
Symptom:
Any sensation or change in body or mind that is experienced by a patient and is associated with a particular disease.
Examples:
Symptoms of low testosterone. Neurotic symptoms. The patient displays a symptom of a side effect.
Hallucinate:
To experience a seemingly real perception of something that does not actually exist, usually as a result of a mental illness or drug use.
Examples:
Start to hallucinate. Hallucinate with drug. Sleep-deprived people gradually lose their concentration and may hallucinate.
Delusion:
A false belief or impression that is firmly held despite evidence to the contrary.
Examples:
Grand delusion. Labor under a delusion. He had a delusion that he was a millionaire.
Trajectory:
The curved path followed by an object moving through space.
Examples:
Career trajectory. A trajectory missile. The company has shown an excellent growth trajectory over the years.
Emerge:
To move out of or away from something and become visible.
Examples:
Emerge as a butterfly. Emerge from poverty. During colonial eras, new migratory patterns emerged.
Medicinal:
Of or relating to the treatment or cure of disease.
Examples:
Medicinal chemistry. Traditional medicinal. The medicinal properties of this herb have been known to help with various ailments.
Sacrifice:
The act of killing an animal or person or surrendering a possession as an offering to a deity. Verb: to give up something important or valuable to help another person or get or do something that seems more important.
Examples:
Small sacrifice for a great cause. Sacrifice anything to get ahead. You cannot accomplish great things without a sacrifice of your time or money.
Precise:
Sharply exact or accurate or delimited.
Examples:
Precise analyses. Estimate precise costs. The content is precise and informative for me.
Decide:
To make up someone's mind about something, to come to a conclusion or judgment after considering options.
Examples:
Decide a question. Decide on a course of action. She couldn't decide whether to order the pizza or the pasta for dinner.
Manifest:
To show something such as feeling, attitude, quality, etc., clearly through signs or actions.
Examples:
Manifest as the word. Manifest displeasure. The Prime Minister manifested his regret for his neighbors.
Predict.
To state beforehand that something will happen in the future, mainly based on knowledge or experience.
Examples:
Predict the future. Predict when she will arrive. It's notoriously challenging to predict birth rates.
Concept.
An idea or principle associated with something abstract.
Examples:
Learn new concepts. Concept car. One such rapidly growing concept is quantum cryptography.
Overestimate.
To estimate something to be greater in amount or importance than it really is.
Examples:
Overestimate the value. Overestimate the amount of time spent. He tends to overestimate his abilities.
Underestimate.
To think or suppose that a quantity, price, or size is smaller than it is.
Examples:
Underestimate an enemy. Underestimate the probability. They frequently underestimated their abilities and felt inferior.